What's up everyone, my name is Darkpast and welcome back to another video of Crossout, and in today's episode I'm gonna give you a nice little tour about Crossout, and this is gonna be an ultimate beginner's guide how to start on Crossout. This is a 2025 and there is some interesting things that weren't in the previous years of games, so there are some things that actually gonna help you get started. And first of all, I'm highly gonna recommend, if you're gonna see this video, check the description down below. There is a lot of links that are bringing you to different packs, and you can obtain them for free, and you can also get some premium that's going to boost your gained resources by 50%. So it also means you're going to get yourself daily 40 coins, you're going to also get some extra resources and quite a lot of little goodies. So it is very good to get, and there are some really cool vehicles you can get yourself that give you a nice amount of parts. So let's start off with some of the most common ones. The first pack you can get is a Peekaboo pack, and this comes with 2 Avenger cannons, some special tier drift wheels which are kind of slick and they also allow you to stance a little bit, and you also get yourself a docker cabin and some good structure parts, plus also some decals, and I'm going to explain why decals can be really good for your build and what you can do with them other than just decorating vehicle. So over here is the part list for all the parts of this pack, and it is quite good, and you also get some stickers yourself to decorate it, and also Wasteland League paint, which is really nice. And as for the second pack, you're gonna get yourself a Morgenstern pack, which comes with a bear cabin, which is a rare rarity and is very good. It is a direct upgrade from Huntsman cabin or Gorilla, because this has way better stats than those cabins, and it also comes with really beefy special tier wheels, which are medium rarity, and also a nice decal, 2 shotguns, and really cool black paint. So here are all the parts that you're gonna get yourself. You also get nice everlasting currency hubcaps, also some left grilled and right grilled lamps, some extenders for fenders, tail lights, bear cabin itself, decent stats, very good, some Lupara, and also some radiators to reduce the heating for the shotguns, which is great, and also carjack, and some structure parts, and also some paint like beast coloring, and of course shadow of success, which are these ones, and a few stickers. There's another pack you can get yourself, which is the Marmok, and this comes with the Grow cabin. It is actually one of the greatest cabins to go for as a starter player, because it gives you the most energy as a rare cabin, and it is also really fast. You get yourself 3 sledgehammers, which is better than the previous pack Morgenstern had, and these are rare rarity shotguns, and this is just a one fast light vehicle. And you get yourself a Growl cabin, you get a hologram called Marmok, you get also a hardcore engine, you also get yourself tail lights, some sledgehammers, CS timer, chain wheel steering and non-steering, a medium spare wheel, some hell pipes, hell lamps, and some other structure parts, plus also paint called Home Light wallpaper, and also Midnight, which is quite nice. This is the pack you're gonna get, which is quite alright. And the next pack you're gonna get yourself also is a coupling of player pack. This comes also with the Grow cabin, but this time with 2 wasps, which are the rocket launchers. You also get yourself different types of rare wheels, which also look really cool, and some other decals. So this pack comes with some fender extenders, 2 wasps, which are great rocket launchers, also ammo reserve, some extra ammo for yourself, landing gear, and also racing wheels, some decals yet again, and also some nice paint like arcade paint, clear sky, midnight, and heavy clouds, and some stickers. This looks a really cool hot rod looking build, so go for it. It's actually quite nice. You're also going to get yourself a Wyvern pack, which is the Walker. Unfortunately, I don't have the packs on this promo account, but these are also free to get, and you get also some really cool paint. Get yourself some, I think, some of these decals. You're gonna get definitely these flamingo legs. You get Wyvern and also TS1 Horizon. You also get some exhausts, CS timer, some rapiers, some brake lights, some other modules like CS timer, some structure parts, and also one of the greatest colors, ruby gloss and topaz. This is one really cool looking paint, and this is one of the packs. This is a 3 vehicle pack. You're also going to get yourself a nice little helicopter that is a Grow cabin, and also some extra wasps, and also seagull propeller for your first helicopter battles. And this is a quite nice decent start of a helicopter, but obviously not the best, but it's still quite decent for get-go. You're also going to get get a nice enemy detector hologram, so it starts to scan basically after you kill an enemy, so you can flex that you have successfully killed someone. And you also get some decals like fluorescent lamp, flasher lights, and also some decals and some stickers and structural parts. This is pretty much the build you're going to get yourself, and it's quite decent. And as for last, you're going to get yourself a ruby gloss, really cool looking growl car that actually looks like a race car. And I don't remember if it came with machine guns or was it shotguns, but this is the type of build you're going to get yourself with some of the new paint as well, and some decals. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I actually get from the pack itself, but this is the build you're gonna get, and also some medium wheels, racing wheels, quite alright, some CS timers, a nice little horn, so you can customize your vehicle's horn however you want to, some decal, and some structure parts, which is gonna give you a nice head start, and also some stickers to begin with. So these are the builds you're gonna get yourself, and also there's one last build you're gonna get also from the links. And for the last vehicle, you're gonna get yourself a meat car, or canned meat, which is a nice looking little vehicle. You don't get really that much exciting. You're gonna get yourself a nice decal. You can also get yourself a Sinus O machine gun, a DT Cobra drone, and a cold storage, and some decal yet again, some wheels and other stuff. So this is pretty much the vehicle itself. It isn't very that exciting, but it's still better than nothing. As a free player, you're gonna get yourself some nice items that you deserve. Alright, so it's time for the second part now. So basically, when it comes to the game itself, there's a lot of things you can still do. So basically, we have this main section of the game where you can see the garage, workbench, market, storage, shop, exhibition, battle pass, and challenges. These are the main things you can see up here, and I will explain everything that you need to know, and also some other things that are on this screen. So let's start off with the first things first. So let's start off with the Birth of a Legend. This is a free battle pass for every new player that starts to play the game. It wasn't even present for me when I started playing back in 2018, so it is relatively new, and if you start now, you're very lucky because you're gonna get yourself some portraits, some weapons, some paints, decals, and even upgraded weapons like upgraded turret cannon, little boy, for durability, explosion radius, and rotation speed, or also shotgun, durability, damage, and rate of fire, which are quite nice. Also fused machine gun, vector, durability, damage, projectile speed, and also an autocannon, resistance to all damage, damage plus 5%, and spread stability. These are decent items, and you also get yourself some nice resources and 10 pieces of repair kit. That's actually quite good. So these are used for raids, which is a PvE mode. You're also going to get yourself a Foxy portrait, also a melee weapon borer for durability and ram damage, some more decals, copper, great for crafting, or if you want to, you can sell it, a novice navigator's case, which allows you to obtain any item from this chest, and you can use it however you want to. And I don't know if you can even trade the item when you get it, but these are the items you're going to get yourself. You're also going to get yourself some workbench coupons, which means that you can craft some items for free without paying some coins. For example, when you start off the game, you need to pay, was it 3 coins for rare items, so this will make it for free. Make a good use out of it. You're gonna get yourself a mentor, which is Ivy Exo's father, or I don't know, but this also gives you some more decals, some more of these novice crates. You're gonna get yourself some weapon choice. You can get at least 2 of them, or maybe 3, depends. And you can also get yourself a cabin of your choice, which is quite good. So basically, with the free packs, you already get yourself some girl cabin, also Vivant cabin, so why not go for the trucker to finish the collection of rare cabins for getting like each category, 1 light, 1 medium, and 1 heavy. You're also going to get yourself a nice little spoiler to make your car look slick, and also a special case to get yourself a special item. So you can get yourself a weapon like one of the packs give you, Sinus O, you can get yourself a second one, and there's a lot of different weapons to choose from. Rapid fire machine gun, normal machine gun, a shotgun, an automatic shotgun, autocannon, turret cannon, rocket launcher, energy weapon, melee weapon, and also a autonomous drone, so you can have any sort of choice, and you have a free choice for the weapons you want to go for. And this is pretty much it for the free battle pass, and that is also part of the tutorial. So when it comes to tutorial and also some challenges, this is a perfect legend. This is what you need to do to complete all the challenges. You can see it over here in the tutorial section. You also get yourself a regular section where you can do some challenges like win 3 battles and missions or brawl stage 2 out of 2. When you complete these challenges, you're going to get yourself some resources, mostly scrap, and if you also do weekly challenges, you're going to get yourself some engineer badges, and I'm going to show you in a second what you can do with these engineer badges. There's also mini battle pass and also the main battle pass, and this is the main battle pass, what you can do to get all the items. So you can get yourself some extra rewards and some other stuff. You're also going to get yourself a challenge tree for the mini battle pass. You can also do this if you want to, and you can also get yourself a nice legendary crate that has some really good stuff. You can also sell it for 400 coins if you want to, and it's available for everybody who's a free-to-play player, and this is a nice little boost for you when you start off the game. This gives you a really good chance to get yourself a easy epic weapon or item really quickly. Then we also have Frontier, so these are for the weekly challenges, basically, well, the brawls, events, whatever you want to call them. And you can get yourself some stickers, decors, paints, containers, and a really, really cool looking decor. I really like how it looks like. So yeah, and of course, if you're in a clan, you can also do some challenges for the clan and get some big amount of badges. So now we are here at the workbench. So basically this is the category where you can see all the things that we have, and yes, this is badge exchange. This is the direct thing what you can do. So over here you can exchange the badges for containers and other goodies, for example resources and some other stuff. And if you're also a new player, you're gonna have a list that goes down, and there are structured parts you can exchange the badges for, which is 300 badges each part. So go through whatever you need to, and you can also get some prestige items that you didn't have before. You can just get them with badges, and that is a great choice already. We also have some crafting benches for all sorts of items you can get for yourself. Some common items, some rare items, special, legendary, relics, and whatnot. There's so much things you can get, and this is pretty much it with these tabs. So when we go over here to the workbench area and the factions, these are the factions you can collect some XP for, and while you do so, you can unlock some more items with each level. As you can see, each level gives you some nice little decors and also vehicle blueprints that you can use. It's the same with lunatics. These is going to give you some other structured parts and also light frames for your fast buggy vehicles, and it is all the same for each category of the factions because they all provide the same, except Founders, Syndicate, and Hyperborea, because if you started the game now, you wouldn't have any pass from here, and also some permanent blueprints or vehicles, but you can get yourself some of the vehicle blueprints, but you can't craft anything. Before we move over to the basics of tutorial, how to build your vehicle and slap on frames and other things, I want to also mention what the decorations do and also the XP. So basically we have different types of decorations. We have flags, which are faction based, that give any boost for the faction itself, bonus reputation for yourself, and team reputation by 10%. But if you have a epic version of it, it's going to give you more, 90% bonus reputation to your faction and 10% team reputation. When it also comes to placing decorations, we have this little area over here. As you can see, additional reputation 25% is maximum. So as it comes to rarities, each decoration gives certain amounts. So legendary gives you 5%, epic gives you 4%, special gives you 3%, rare gives you 2%, and common gives you 1%. While having all these decoration paths, they don't increase the durability of your vehicle or anything. They are just here to make your vehicle look unique and also increase the reputation gain for the XP, so you can level up your factions faster. Alright, so now I'm gonna show you the part 3, which is gonna be navigating more icons here on the menu instead of these that I already showed you on the top, which are the main ones. So here on the left side we have some 3 little icons over here, which is friends. You can add some people as friends, and obviously when you start the game you have no friends. I know it's harsh truth, but you will make a lot of friends in this game because it is very fun and people here are generally nice, but you will meet some trolls and some mean people, but just ignore them. And we also have leaderboards. You can see there's clan confrontation, battle for uranium, blueprint orders, brawls, orders, and subscriptions. And here is the tutorial part. So basically, this is going to give you a nice little insight about how to build your vehicle, and it is very, very detailed. And over here you can see that never ever mount your vehicle on a single frame. If you do, you're going to lose your whole build and it will be a nugget. That's what I call here in the wasteland. And instead use multiple frames, and if you do so, it reduces the chance of you being a nugget. So make sure to make a really careful decisions how you place the frames on your build. And also good part of connecting frames is that even if you have it like that, make sure that you add some extra frames for extra support of your build. And if you lose something, you're going to lose some other crucial parts. As over here you can see that when you lose something, your whole vehicle stays intact. So make sure that you do it to make sure that the vehicle is still able to operate. And also when it comes to mounting movement parts, make sure that the movement parts are mounted at least 2 frames if you can, because if you do so, it is able to protect your vehicle and you won't lose your movement parts so easily if one of the frames gets destroyed. So basically, when it comes to building your first vehicle, make sure that you select the parts and frames the way you want to, but also be careful how you build them, because while you build a vehicle, it is important to make sure that all the vitals and mounted modules and other explosive stuff will be protected by the cabin, either being behind it or below it in the frames. It is also the same thing when it comes to weapons. Make sure that these parts are going to be mounted on the shoot-through parts, cabin, or the frames themselves, because these have special parameters. Well, not the cabin itself, because it's a solid base basically. And also armoring the vehicle. It is very important that you will armor the vehicle properly to make sure that none of the vitals and other crucial parts are exposed. So you want to make sure that survivability for each part is maximized, and also to make sure if you build a vehicle, try not to make it over tonnage. And as you can see over here, basically if you add too much armor and your vehicle is unable to carry it, it is not going to be really good. But instead of use better wheels or any type of other alternative parts that are lighter but give you good amount of durability, it will boost your vehicle stats and also make it way better. As you can see, if you're over tonnage, your vehicle will be way slower when it comes to acceleration compared to the vehicle that is at normal limits. Energy reserve is also something very important to understand, and there's a few ways to do so. So basically, the cabin has set amount of energy, and if you try to mount something that has more energy than the cabin can handle, you need to add a generator. While having a generator, this boosts also the stats for the vehicle itself, and you're able to mount more items to the vehicle. So let's start off with this. As you can see, there is 2 Reapers shooting, each being 12 energy points, and this cabin is able to carry only, I think, 22 energy points, whilst having the generator mounted at the back, it gives you additional energy points. But if the generator is being destroyed, it will disable some of the crucial parts of your vehicle, like some weapons, modules, and so on. So make sure that when you mount your generator, it is nicely tucked between the frames like I showed before, so it will be protected quite well. When it also comes for the energy supplies, you can also use this energy supply section, which is down below here. You can check what you can distribute with energy wise to make sure what items will stay operational or what will be disabled while you lose your generator. For example, I can disable the trombone, so the trombone gets disabled, but I don't want my weapons to get disabled, but I have no other option. So I have 1 energy point left, and I can't really do much about it, can I? If you have more parts that consume more energy or have a bigger generator, then you can disable more items than I can over here on this build. Plus, also over here, you can also change the weapon groups for your weapons, which is very helpful. If you don't want your weapons to be attached to the same trigger, you can change it to make it to your liking. As I mentioned before, when it comes to mounting the weapons, it is good to understand that when you mount your weapons, it is best to mount them on the cabin, frames, or shoot-through parts, because frames are very effective as they have special features like 75% damage pass-through. They also have resistance to melee damage and also resistance to ramming damage, so these parts don't come off so easily. It's good to place all the weapons or other stuff on this one. Make sure that those don't fall off. You can customize the build the way you want with all the new frames that we have, and there's different shapes and sizes. The same thing is also for the structure parts, which is the buggy floor, and there's many others. They give you 90% damage pass-through, which means the weapons will survive longer when they are mounted on these parts. There's multiple of these, and as you can see, they're all over here, except this brazier part. Since I mentioned brazier, this is a normal structure part, and each structure part is unique and it has own stats. But these are the parts that increase the protection for your vehicle, but bumpers do not increase any sort of durability to a vehicle, but they only increase durability to total durability stats. Let me show you the example. As you can see, the cabin itself has 390 durability, as you can see it in the stats as well, and on the right side of the screen. While adding structure parts to a vehicle, it increases your durability by a certain amount. If you look at the top right corner, you can see the durability itself, how much it's going to increase. 418, because this part gives me 28 durability. If I add another one, it gives me a 446. What I mentioned before about the bumpers, as you can see, durability is 373, but this does not increase my durability for my vehicle. As you can see, the durability is still 446. But if you look over here, hover the mouse here, and you can see the total durability is 875. Since the bumpers are here to protect damage incoming before dealing damage to your structure parts, additional HP and cabin, and also protects you from the melee attacks. When you also mount your weapons, it is also important to make sure that the weapons are well armored. While armoring the weapons, you are able to make sure that the weapons don't fall off so easily, but if they're exposed, they can get shot off so quickly. You can either spread the weapons or make them like a staircase kind of style, to make sure the weapons are in different areas so they don't get shot off so easily. For example, cannons, because they have a high explosion, so they deal area damage. The same thing is that you can also mount some of the weapons behind the cabin if they are tall enough. It will also make the hitbox a little bit smaller for the weapons, so it makes it harder for the enemies to hit. There's also other ways of mounting weapons, which is, for example, putting them behind the cabin or inside a vehicle, like these nests, because these are a completely different type of weapon, and this rocket launcher. There's also some other vehicles I can show you what I mean about mounting the weapons the way you want to, but they also have some drawbacks. You can also mount the weapons below the vehicle, but this also means that while they're below the vehicle, they have limited fire angles. You can't really fire up or down, but you are mostly able to shoot forward. But it's also possible to shoot in different directions, if depending on how the angle of the weapon is and where it is mounted, so it's just dependent. But otherwise, you are quite limited what you can do with this. We also have vehicles that are bunker based, and there is some of the vehicles that have either close range weapons or long range weapons, which also makes that very limited. You're not able to shoot to all directions, and you mostly aim forward the way you're facing. But this also gives you basically maximum amount of protection for your weapons depending on the angle and the way you build it, and it is super good. So, like I said, build the vehicle the way you want and mount your weapons the way you want as well, but make sure that they're not exposed or mounted on the armor pieces. Here is the reason why you shouldn't place any of the weapons on the armor pieces, because they have only durability for the piece itself and the vehicle, so if once they get shot off, you're gonna lose anything that is attached to it. So instead, mount them on the shoot-through part, because they have higher survivability despite having lower durability. That is the special ability that these parts have, and the same goes for the frames. But the cabin is the solid choice for basically being a brick, because it only has the durability of the armor parts you have mounted on the vehicle, but once it gets also destroyed and damaged or the weapon shot off, you're basically done. There's also ways of placing the melee weapons. You can have either passive melee weapons that use no energy, and you can ram your enemies and deal some collision damage. Similar thing is with the melee weapons, and the best way to protect yourself from melee weapons is bumpers or any kind of parts that are able to resist some of the melee damage, so you don't get them tuned off quickly enough. It is also best to have tracks if you like tanks. They have really high melee damage resistance, but you can also armor them with some bumpers if you build some of the frames around them to make extra use out of it. And now we are to part 4. So part 4 is going to explain you basically the most basics about what to choose when it comes to building a vehicle. We already covered the most basic about the navigation in the game and also how to build, but when it comes to choosing the cabin, the right weapons and the movement parts, it's all up to you, but there's some very important things to understand and note what you need to do. So here we are at the technology tree. So tech tree has a lot of categories. We have the cabinets over here, aka base, weapons, hardware, aka modules, and movement parts. This will easily show you all the parts in the game, and you get some better knowledge about the items, and you can also hover your mouse over them to see what kind of stats they have and what perks are they using. So basically, when it comes to cabins, we have 3 categories: light cabins, medium cabins, and of course heavy cabins. We have so many options to choose from, but each cabin performs differently and has their own stats, and you can choose the preference of your liking. For example, if you want to go for something reload based, it is best to use cabins that are helping with reload, to use weapons that need reload. For example, the Deadman cabin increases the reload when you have a certain amount of weapons mounted: 1 by 20%, 2 weapons 15%, or 3 or more. which is going to be 10%. Similar thing is with Omnibox, but this one has two modes. This will have one mode that increases the cabin speed and power by 15% and 25%, and also accelerates the cooling by 20% and increases weapon reload speed by 20%. So it is very good for cooling based weapons and also reload based. Same comes with Hadron, as this is a very powerful cabin. It increases the reload by 15% by base, but if you have other weapons, it will make sure it is going to distribute reload across all weapons by a fair amount to make sure that all the weapons and items reload at the same speed. If there's a weapon that is reloading faster than the weapon that is slow reloading, it's going to boost the reloading up to 40%, which makes it almost rapid firing. And other good cabins you can use is Carapace or Echo, because they both have the same perk, but Carapace's is a little bit lower. And Echo Cabin increases the reload speed by 65% if there's enemies nearby and you charge the talent for it. The reload based cabins also benefit from these modules like KA1 Discharger, KA2 Flywheel, and of course Cyclops. These are very good modules as these increase the reloading speed a lot, and combining it with reload perks on the cabins, it will make weapons like cannons, shotguns, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, crossbows and so on reload way faster than without any reload boost from the cabin or reload module. Then we also have weapons that are cooling based. They need radiators or coolers to operate the weapons better, because without them the weapons will overheat very quickly and cool down quite slowly. So there are different types of weapons that need these kind of things. As example, machine guns, miniguns, automatic shotguns, autocannons, some grenade launchers, and energy weapons. These weapons will gradually perform better if you have any sort of radiator or cooler. For example, R2 Chill increases time until weapons and boosters are overheated by 40%. For shotguns and laser shotguns, the bonus is 23%. So basically for shotguns it is nerfed because shotguns otherwise can shoot too long and deal massive amount of damage. The similar thing is also with timers. The cooling rate of all weapons and boosters increases by 40%. The effect stacks, so it is stackable, all of these modules, which is really good. And also you can fuse these to get better stats to make them way better than they are by stock. When it comes to movement parts, we have different categories. We have light wheels, medium wheels, heavy wheels, frontal wheels, rolling based, aka omnidirectional, tracks, hovers, also omnidirectional, mechanical legs, also omnidirectional, robotic legs, omnidirectional as well, augers, also omnidirectional, and rotors for your helicopters. So yes, you can also fly in this game. Each move part has its own stats and also purpose. For example, light wheels are the ones that use least amount of power, but they also are very light and easily destroyed. Plus they also provide you least amount of tonnage, and the durability is quite bad. But some wheels are actually very good and very useful. For example, Ian Buggy wheels and Uvabaki wheels, since they boost your vehicle quite a bit. The same thing is with mediums. They're quite good and survivable. And I recommend for medium wheels is the array wheels that you get from the free packs, which is really good. Also really good epic move parts from the medium wheels is the hermit wheels and also widgets. Heavy wheels are also a great option for you. And also the greatest ones you can go for is APC wheels that you also get from free packs, which is really nice. Bigfoots, solid choice for also some of the drones, and a cheetah engine and Titan wheels for massive amount of durability, plus also healing ability. Tracks are excellent choice for you if you're starting the game or at least want to play in like mid or late game, because tracks provide you a lot of nice features and bonuses. For example, resistance to damage for each type of damage type. Hovers let you hover above the ground and you can strafe, which is really nice, but you're gonna be a glass cannon most of the part. Legs are mostly meant for very slow and heavy tanks that are mostly meant to be a bullet sponges. These legs are able to tank a lot of damage, except Gyarados and Mirror legs, as they are one of the lighter legs. And then we also have robotic legs, which are mostly used at the moment in the arcade mode. They might come to the classic mode, but we have to see how the update rolls out. Augers are like tank tracks, but they're omnidirectional and they can also deal collision damage and also grind enemies to death, which is a nice feature, and they are currently a great meta movement part. Rotors, different stats, and you can use them in different ways to build your own helicopter and go for the battles. If you still don't know what a vehicle to build or what parts to use, Exhibition is your friend. There's a lot of vehicles to choose from. It is free to use and you can download the vehicles and check out everything you need to know about building. And this is a very good way of checking out the builds and vehicles to see how they perform and how to use them. So each vehicle is very unique, and you can also upload your own vehicles to the exhibition if you really want to. And let's take a look. For example, we have a split shotgun vehicle over here using the Deadman. As you can see, split shotguns are reload based, and it also uses a reload based cabin to maximize the reload. And same goes with also using a KA2 flywheel, which also boosts the reload for the weapons, and it makes the weapon gradually better. Camila Mark II is a stealth module that makes your vehicle invisible, and is also very good when you use stealth type builds. But I'll let you explore these modules and other stuff by yourself, so you can get the idea. Otherwise, if I'm going to cover everything, it's going to make the video extremely long. And this is the market. Here you can check out anything you want to, and each category for each type of weapon, module, movement part, decor, anything that you want to, because there's so much to offer, and I'll let you guys check it out by yourself, because this is a place where you can trade with people live and also sell your own stuff or buy stuff, and so on. I'm also going to give you a quick money tutorial, like how to earn money the fastest way in this game. There's many different ways how to do so. First of all is getting fuel. And how do you get fuel? By getting fuel, you need yourself a fuel barrel. You're going to get a fuel barrel which is common, that gives you 5 liters, and fuel tank that gives you 10. You cannot add many of these, because if you're going to add 2 fuel tanks, you're going to still get only 10 liters, you can't get 20. The only thing you can do is getting 15, which is adding 1 fuel barrel and 1 fuel tank. These are the modules that are highly explosive, but if you manage to protect them, put them under the cabin, in the frames, or behind the build, then you can survive longer with these, and if you finish the battle, you get fuel. If the fuel tank gets destroyed, if your vehicle still has survived, you won't get anything. The other good way to earn money is going to market and checking out the parts by flipping them, and you can buy some items for cheap and then selling them for expensive. That is a good way to do it, and there's a lot of tutorials also on YouTube how to do so. The other thing is to earn money is also doing some raids and some challenges or battles. And I recommend doing next step missions, which is the arcade, because these are earning you the most amount of resources. And since you get the free premium, this is the best way to earn it, because scrap you get almost 100 pieces, wires are around 50 or something, and batteries like 20 or something. I don't remember on top of my head. I don't play these modes too often, but you also get some nice resources, for example plastic and electronics, which gives you a nice amount of money, and also copper, which is a very valuable resource and is very easily farmed. It also gives you a lot of money as well, since it's also very important for most of the crafting recipes. For example, 100 copper is almost as much as 100 scrap. So earning scrap is easier in the missions and it costs you nothing, but in invasions or any kind of raid, it costs you fuel. So you can farm yourself fuel and sell it, or collect it to grind more resources for yourself, and it's quite grindy the game indeed. You can also do awakening to get yourself some resources while getting to know the story of Crossout, and doing some challenges, which is also a lot of fun. I hope this video explained everything you need to know about Crossout, its functions, the building, and everything for your vehicle, and other stuff that is very important when you start your journey in the Wastelands, because Wasteland is not very forgiving. Either way, if you really enjoyed the video, you can also comment down below, leave a like, subscribe, and another thing is that if you really need some help, feel free to join also Discord server. My community is very friendly and everybody is happy to help you, and you can chat with me, we can play some games, and so on. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys soon.